All right, so here's what's going on. Wife's Acura RDX starter went out pretty much, right? A while back during January, I want to say, give or take. No, I lied. Last year, December? I don't remember. Anyways, it was a while back when it was starting to slightly warm up, kind of gives us a fall spring here in Illinois. I went on the pass. It was raining hard and I submerged the car in the water. The next day, literally 12 hours later, it was like below freezing. And so 2 and 2 together, pretty much starter went out. Now, I took off the starter, but I had a bunch of stuff going on and didn't get to get the car right away. So the car's been sitting here for a minute. But anyways, finally got the starter out. For this Acura, you have a 14 and a 17 mil. Those were stubborn, especially the 17 mil, trying to go from top and bottom. And so fast forward, here we are. Unfortunately, I didn't get to record the process of me unbolting the whole car, but have the phone mounted right here. Hopefully you guys get a good visual of what I'm doing, right? So anyways, I got the Acura right here. Starter went off. Didn't get to record the process, but pretty much for these first gen turbos, starter's gonna sit right here in the front by where you have the radiator fans right there. And so you got a clip that's somewhere around here. If I could find it. You got this harness right here, one where the little boot that goes on top to the positive terminal that connects to the positive of the battery, and then you have this little clip that connects to the starter for it to pretty much send voltage and get it started. Now right here on this side you'll have a 17 mil, and on the other side behind it you'll have a 14 mil. It is a little awkward depending on the type of tools you got. This is the swivel socket that I have and a few of the extensions and long ones to break it free. It's gonna take literally some elbow grease, but anything's possible to get it done. And anyways, I got the new starter right here, thankfully from a premium. Got it from Amazon. It was about $86, $96 with like taxes and everything. I was thinking of going to a refurbish shop where they refurbish starters, alternators, and whatever. I'll show the business card in a bit here in Chicago, if you guys are in the Chicago area. But didn't have time because me and the wife are literally on one car, so she's been using my car, and I said, F it, I'll order from Amazon, sell the old starter, and just sell the old one for a core. But anyways, so here's the new starter. Gonna skip it to the unboxing, and here it is. Pretty much, you got the old starter. The old one, I don't have it because I left it in my other car. I can't compare, but I mean, I can give you word of mouth by myself that this is the exact one that you need. And like I said, the right side of the starter is a 17 mil, and then the left side is a 14 mil for that car. So we're gonna take this bad boy over there and then use a second camera over there to see my progress, and we'll just go from there. Now, you have the radiator cap right here. You have the radiator fans right there, intakes over here, and so starter is gonna sit right there. Now, in order to remove the starter for this car, again, you have sitting it like this, and you have 17 mil here, 14 mil here, and then you have the little terminal boot, which comes with a replacement nut. So normally I'd use the replacement nuts, and then if by any chance I accidentally drop this sucker or something happens to it, I mean, I have a backup from the old starter, right? So I'm gonna put this in my magnetic plate up here that I have and just put it aside. And so once you remove the nut, you have this post where you connect the positive terminal connects to the positive side of the battery pretty much, and then you have the little clip right here that connects the system to the starter. And pretty much every time you turn on the ignition, you engage the starter has a little bearing right here, or like a little gear that pops out. Nice, I dropped the washer, but it fell on the bottom. But anyways, yes, you have the little gear, this little like gear right here that pulls out, and it spins I believe the flywheel of the car, if I'm not mistaken, or just, you know, starts cranking the engine and the engine fires right up. Now, if by any chance that you have issues cranking, like if you're trying to turn on the car and go and it's like very weak, like it's weak on crank, or it just doesn't crank at all, it's most likely your starter's going bad. Now, to diagnose this, aside from the starter, I mean, it could be spark plugs, or even a dead battery, or alternator is also faulty. But if none of those are it, then your other cause for a no crank during a start would be your starter motor. Also, just heads up, rainy weather, you go on a tunnel underpass, submerge the car, car drives fine. Maybe within the next 12 to 72 hours, car starts feeling a few issues starting up or driving or whatever. Again, most likely, you submerge your starter and you probably damaged it. So something that you kind of want to look into. But if you're ever replacing the starter, even if it's not an Acura, again, most starters usually have two nuts. It's unfortunately up to you, varies by car which size it is. They'll usually be held by 2 or 3. If I'm not mistaken, I think the Jetta had 3. I could be wrong. I changed the starter like during COVID, so it's been a minute, and that was before I started doing car stuff. But anyways, usually have the positive terminal post, and then usually like a little sensor clip that you put for the ignition, pretty much. Let's proceed. Enough yapping. So now that you have the new starter, be careful lowering it, and if by any chance the phone is shaky, I apologize, because I have this mounted a little stupid onto the radiator post of the car, and so mount or phone mount ain't gonna be too accurate. Put it in there. Kind of wanna line it up there with your bolt, or the hole that the bolts go to. Want to start at least threading one of them just so it holds. Same thing to the other side. Like I said, it's gonna be awkward fit right here, because I also have the phone mount, but again, bear with me. So okay, can't see where holding the starter. Okay, taking a minute because I'm doing this by hand. Okay, now that I fully at least threaded one of them, give my hands a quick break. Like I said, sorry, it's gonna be a little awkward being able to see with my hands, but I promise to make this being able to be as visible as possible. Sorry. Okay, anyways, now that I got that threaded, let me just thread this real quick. You know what? Okay, just so that way I don't gotta exhaust my hand. And then we'll just put this bad boy right there. Grab the 14 mil again. I like I said, I don't know. I have to play stupid. I have to kind of play stupid. Okay, so now fast forward. Sorry that my head got in the way trying to use the tool to kind of like turn it anyways. But like I said, when it comes to dealing with these two bolts down here, it's gonna be awkward. So one of the tips that I can give you guys is, if you guys have extensions and swivels, those will be your best friends. And not to mention long size ratchets, only because it is awkward. It's gonna be difficult. It's gonna give you some more work, and you're gonna have to put in more elbow grease, but the more tools you have, the better. You don't gotta buy any fancy tools. You go to Harbor Freight and get like the Pittsburgh, get deep sockets like this, swivel extensions and stuff. You're gonna have regular ratchets like these, but you're gonna want something longer also, so that way it gives you leverage. I know it's gonna be hard when it comes to ratcheting, so again, coming with the swivel, when you're maneuvering it, it's easier for you to be able to kind of ratchet around, rather than when you're just going up and down and you're really not hearing the tooth ratcheting, right? But anyways, tools like that will help in the long run. After you have both bolts on, what you're going to have is that boot that I mentioned for the terminal. I don't know if you guys can see, but this right here is what you're going to connect to that post right there. And so you're going to flip this boot around because it's the other way around. Kind of put this terminal down there. It's gonna have like a little divot right there, so it'll snug itself right there. So we're gonna put the nut right here, and we're just gonna start spinning it down. Once you have it down by hand, just kind of want to just twist it, and then you're gonna get yourself a 10 mil, if I'm not mistaken. Now that you have tightened it by hand, what you're gonna do is you're gonna, that's not a 12 mil, that's not a 10 mil, it's a 12 mil. Jesus. Damn. Normally these are 10 mils, but for some reason this one's a 12 mil. Am I tightening this? No, I am loosening up. Jesus Christ, that's why. Okay, now that I'm, sorry, tighten it up. Okay, just right there, just a good old snug. And then put the boot back on. You're gonna wanna slide it a little bit upwards. It's gonna take a little, there you go. All right, now that the boot's right there snug, then you're gonna have this switch right here, and you're gonna connect it to this right here. And so this cable being out the way, I know you can disconnect these and push them out the way, but I like to be as minimal as I can when it comes to these jobs, unless they're really getting in my way. Then I'll start unbolting shit. But again, I don't want to do too much. My hand might be in the way, but okay, that should be on there, right? Okay, that's on there. Now, let's see. Nothing else has really been disconnected besides the fans. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna slightly turn on the car and get the car running, see if that works. All right. Put these terminals out the way, put the battery on there. And we're not gonna just fully connect it, we're just gonna make sure again that the car even starts and the starter turns on the car. Okay, let's do that. And then I don't think there's any tools that'll be in the way of the car. But again, you don't want anything in the way of the airbox if you have the airbox exposed, or anything nearby the belt, nothing to be caught on. So like this, and this, just throw it to the side. You just want to play it safe, don't want anything just sucked in. Tools shouldn't be a problem. Intake, we'll still have some flow into this. So let's try to, again, turn on the car, see if it works and it runs, and hopefully that's the starter. What? Car is running, but now we have a little tickering problem here. Okay, so we know the starter works, car's running, but we're still getting some knocking by where the intake cover is at, underneath the air coolant, or the air cooler thingy. But I would have to put in the scanner and see, but there was a code a while back that was giving me a 2363, 2560, something along the lines of rocker valve arm opener or something like that. So it's just now having to look into that, and if needed to be, probably open up the intake cover and see if any of the the valve arms are messed up, because I know it's something common with older Acuras. Usually they just need like a little adjustment, as far as I know, but we're gonna have to see. I'm gonna have to look more into this before I dive into the car physically and not having to throw more parts to it. But at least we know that the cranking issue with the car was the starter. Like I said, I didn't get to show. Actually, no. Matter of fact, I do got videos when I was attempting to start the car. So those are the videos of the car attempting to start when I told you that we went by the underpass and it was having a hard time staying on. I'm assuming it's because the starter wasn't turning on. So aside from that, we know that the car starts now and it's running. Now it's just having those knocking issues. So we're gonna look into that, and then we'll make a whole nother video once I come to my conclusion if it is or if it isn't. So again, sorry if I haven't posted in a minute, but we'll keep at it with these shenanigans, and you guys will see me next time. So appreciate it.